Hey y'all, welcome back to Millennial in the Middle. If you're new here, I'm Rachel and I'm a new middle school history teacher. And today, as you can tell by my shirt, we're going to talk about HBCUs. I graduated from Morgan State University in Baltimore and I'm a huge HBCU advocate. So as of today, there are about 106, 107, depending on who you ask, and they range from community college to four-year institutions to professional schools like School of Law, School of Medicine, School of Dentistry. I think Tuskegee is like really known for veterinarian medicine, and there's so many different things. So many different HBCUs are known for a specific program. um, I would just invite you, if you are in college or if you are not in a college atmosphere yet, or if you're looking for graduate school programs, look for HBCUs. You will be very surprised at what you find. There is greatness in our institution. So let's talk about why I decided to attend an HBCU. So again, I'm from PG. A lot of people from PG go to different HBCUs. They go to Howard and Bowie and Morgan and Dell State and Hampton and all these different institutions. And I had a bad connotation of HBCUs. I can't really explain why, but that just wasn't on my list. I wanted to go to Temple, which was in Philly. But my senior year of high school, I went to a school in Pittsburgh because my dad moved, and I hated it. Like, I really hated it. And I still thought that I wanted to go to Temple, and I was poor, so I could really only afford that one college application. And my guidance counselor was MIA for those like months in school that you apply for college. So I was like lost in the sauce, y'all. I just did not know. So I went from a school that was 95% black to a school that was 95% white. And after like maybe December, I was like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to go to a PWI. Like, I want to go to an HBCU. And I didn't know about rolling admissions or rolling decision or any of that. So I never applied. I just decided to move back to PG, live with my grandfather, and go to community college. In community college, I attended a class on Black history post Civil War, and I learned about the greatness that is within these HBCU histories, and that prompted me to really want to go to an HBCU. I was already kind of thinking about like somewhere like Clark, but that was too expensive for my family, so I was thinking more local, and so I applied to Morgan, Bowie, and Howard. And Howard got back to me first, Morgan got back to me second, and Bowie got back to me the weekend before school started. So I hope that Bowie got back to a lot of other people way before me, but I just went with what happened first, which was Howard, and that's how I ended up at Howard. Then, because I had to transfer, Morgan had just they either waived the application fee again, or they did something where I didn't have to do much. I just had to say that I wanted to apply again because they had already accepted me. So they were like, oh yeah, we'll accept you again. And so I was grateful for that. I started at Howard University and I ended up graduating from Morgan State University. And I wish on some instances that I had stayed all 4 years at one university, but on the other hand, I'm really grateful for the experience of two HBCUs because there was just so many things that I learned from both institutions, and I carry them with me to this day. One of the things I didn't like about Howard was the elitist attitude. It's embedded in the school culture, and because I grew up in Prince George's County, Maryland, which is right outside of DC, and my family's from DC, I have a love and an appreciation for everything that DC has given us. I did not like having to defend DC natives like almost every day to Howard students. They were like, oh, why are they hanging around here? And I'm like, do you not realize that you know, across the street from your dorm is an actual apartment complex where DC natives live. Like, hello.
What's not clicking? What's not clicking?
Did have a lot of good things about my Howard experience, but those really like dampened the good experience. And so I went to Morgan and I graduated from Morgan and had a lot of fun. I had a lot of great experiences. So a lot of people always want to know about dorm life. When I got to Howard, I wanted to stay at Quad, and Quad was a freshman women's dorm. It had a lot of history. Y'all know I love history, so I was like, "Oh yes, I want to stay." Blah 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 blah. But because I was a transfer, I had to stay in College Hall South, which was one of the newer buildings, and it was really nice inside. It was like clearly new. You know, you had a roommate, but you had a bathroom in your room. You had two closets. You had a sink outside of the bathroom. The bathroom itself was like, it was like a refrigerator. It was so small, y'all. But you know, you're grateful to have your own bathroom. So it again, it was just really nice and new and everything. But there were also a lot of problems that I had with it. The fire alarm went off like all the time, y'all. Then when I got to Morgan, I knew that I still wanted the bathroom in my room. Y'all, I was not going to do community nothing. Mm-mm. People too trifling. So, I knew I wanted my own bathroom or like a bathroom in the room, and I wanted a kitchen. So, apartment style was what was going to work for me. So, I did Marble Hall. If you go to Morgan, don't don't ever think about going to Marble Hall. Go to Morgan View, get your own place, whatever you do, just don't do Marble Hall. It was so trifling when we walked in there because me and my cousin moved in on the same day. She was a freshman and I was a transfer. So it was me, my cousin, my mom, her two aunts, and then my aunt, her grandma. And um so we walked into one of my the room that I was assigned, and it was like mold, like in this apartment. You know, it was flies in the fridge and like it was so trifling, y'all. And it was not a girl in there to fess up and say, you know, that was from her because they allowed people to stay there for the summer. So you know, we like gang up, and it's like I need somewhere else to live because this is unacceptable. So they got me somewhere else to live in that same building. There were still issues, but it was way cleaner, and so we just were like, you know what, okay, like that's fine. And I don't know, it was just like Marble Hall is like trifling. So the next year I went to Morgan View, which again is a four person style, but it's every person has a room and then there's two bathrooms on either side, so you only share a bathroom with one person. You share the kitchen, and then they have like common room furniture. So it was a really great upgrade from Marble Hall. So my favorite part, hands down, of attending an HBCU is that everything was made for you. Every class, every building, just everything was made with you in mind. You know, again, I came from PG, so um, Black culture was throughout our curriculum, or maybe not explicitly in our curriculum, but our teachers made it a point to have Black culture all throughout our education. And so it was just nice to have that in college as well. And some people don't come from a situation where they were in the curriculum. So an HBCU was a really big eye opener for them. And it's just great to know that, you know, people care about you. So something a lot of people are going to say to deter you from attending an HBCU is that, but HBCUs aren't like the real world. And what they mean by the real world is like a corporate America when you get your job, and, you know, majority of that workforce is white. But here's where they're wrong. Again, I grew up in a majority Black district, a majority Black county. So a Black space like an HBCU was my real world. And you can't, your real world is what you make it. You know what I mean? And your real world is what it is at that time. And so I don't think that you have to spend thousands of dollars and go to a college surrounded by white people, or any other demographic of people if you want to go to an HBCU. because it's not on you to learn about them, it's on them to learn about you. So let me repeat that. You do not have to go to college to learn how to deal with white people. White people need to learn about you and your culture, because in your life, regardless of where you're from, regardless if you live in PG, if you live in Detroit, if you live in Oakland, it doesn't matter. You already know how to navigate, or you have already learned different ways of navigating in a white world. They never have to learn how to navigate around Black people with respect and the dignity that we deserve. I already know what y'all want to know, which is about homecoming. That's the number one question that anybody ever asks. How was homecoming? You know, even if they're not a student, they just want to know. And anything you heard about turning up at homecoming is so true. It's like, y'all, it's such a big, huge turn up. And as alum, it's an even greater experience because it's like you understand all over again why you chose that school. You have such a connection to that school, like you miss that school. I wouldn't think that I was the type of person to really miss college, but when I step on campus, I'm just so filled with love, and the campus is so filled with love and alcohol and turning up and twerking and doing all this other stuff. And it's just really fun. Take so many pictures, go to the concert, go to the tailgate, go to the game, make all these memories, because 4 years, they go like that. So make sure that you take advantage of your homecoming. So I know some people want to know the pros and the cons of attending an HBCU. And for me personally, there is no con for attending an HBCU. There are cons for attending your college, because no college is perfect. And so again, my con for Howard was the elitism, and my con for Morgan was, for one, that food was terrible. Like, HBCU food is supposed to be good, and the food at Howard, I did like it. The food at Morgan, I'm glad that I had a kitchen, because if not, I probably would have lost hella weight. That food was trifling. I have a few tips to give anybody who's incoming or a current HBCU student. And the first one is, when you have financial aid issues, when you have registration issues, housing issues, go talk to somebody early. And I mean early in the semester and early in the day. Don't come up in there at 1 or 2 o'clock and think that you're about to go see somebody. It might benefit you to miss that first or second day of class, that first week in the semester, so that you can get your administrative issues done. A lot of people do have administration issues at HBCUs, and that's a larger issue that we can talk about at a later date, but make sure that time is on your side. The second tip, which I think I talked about already, was just get involved. Make sure that you get involved on the community level and at the school level. Don't wait for your friends to do that event with you or be in that organization with you. Do what you need to do for yourself to fulfill your goals, because you're going to meet amazing people any organization or any event that you go to. Third tip, do not spend your whole refund check. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. Don't spend the whole thing. It's so hard. And I'm telling you this as somebody who spent their whole refund check. Do not do it. I'm going to make a separate video later about why you shouldn't and the ways that you can save it. But what I will say up front is, at least if you get like 500 and you got to pay for your books, pay for your books. But if you get like 1,000, you need to be saving at least 10% of that. And you need to save it in an account that has nothing to do with your debit card, so that you can't switch it back and forth and get some money out your savings, or, none of that. You need to set yourself up for success, because there's going to be a point in time when you are broke as hell. And my last tip is that GroupMe is your friend, y'all. Please download GroupMe. Please get GroupMe in your classes, in your dorms, whether people selling stuff, whether people, if you live in a dorm that doesn't have kitchens, people might be selling snacks. People in your classes might help you pass. I would not have passed a Howard math class had I not had GroupMe. There are certain times when you oversleep, somebody's gonna write your name on that attendance sheet. I mean, teamwork makes the dream work. So make sure that you have a GroupMe. So I hope this video was really helpful for you all who are thinking about attending an HBCU, or you know that you're going to an HBCU come August or September. And let me know what HBCU you're going to, what you're excited about. Let me know what else you want me to talk about when it comes to the HBCU experience, and I will definitely catch you all next video.